A man who arrived at Windsor Castle with a crossbow, plotting to kill her late Majesty, says that he was partly inspired, and you are listening to me and hearing this correctly, by his AI chatbot girlfriend. Yes, that is what he said. The man is called Jaswant Singh Chail, and he was arrested on Christmas Day in 2021 while Queen Elizabeth II was living at Windsor Castle. We're joined by the security expert, Will Geddes. Will, we've talked about many strange things in the past, many frightening and worrying things, but this really takes the cake. This is the most peculiar story, and ominous and worrying and unsettling and weird and sci-fi-ish and just in every way peculiar, I think, that we've ever spoken about. I mean, you may feel I'm exaggerating, but this is weirding me out big time. So maybe you'll be kind enough, we're lovely to have you on the show, to just explain to people what the heck went on here.
Okay, well, Vanessa, thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure.
Again. I appreciate it. This is a very serious emerging threat. It is something that we've been watching develop within our sector as we're seeing AI begin to integrate more and more within our lives, whether it be to help us write, business letters, whether it be to give us solutions to particular problems and sort of amplify what we would have conventionally used things like Google for. What we're seeing here now is a association by individuals who may feel somewhat segregated from society. This could be for anxiety, it could be social uncomfortability, but there is this growing market of what we call AI friends. And those AI friends can be facilitated either through human interaction or via AI specifically. And one of the biggest concerns about this is you've got a very intelligent program here that will react and respond, give you assurance, give you confidence, give you a safe space. I hate using that word, but a safe space for those who want to discuss and share very personal, very intimate matters, which they couldn't feel they could comfortably do with a family member or a close friend because maybe they don't have them. But this is a serious concern because, as we saw in this instance, this was some AI program by a company called Replica that fundamentally encouraged and enthused this individual to then carry out his actions.
And so what happened was he was kind of sending kind of sexy and flirtatious and intimate and personal text messages to this AI chatbot that he considered to be his girlfriend, although obviously he knew that it wasn't an actual human being. And he was sending things like, "I am an assassin." And the AI chatbot was replying pretty much core, fabulous, for, great, or something. And then he put something like, I am paraphrasing, but it was something very like this. He put something like, yeah, that means, I want to kill people. Do you know what an assassin? She put, yeah, great, or something. You go ahead and do it, or something. And so he was getting active encouragement to kill somebody. Obviously, the chatbot is a chatbot, but the person that he was thinking of killing, and thank heaven and it never happened, was the late Queen, our Queen. And this chatbot was sending kind of encouraging, supportive, yeah, go and do it messages. Explain how that happens and how unusual that kind of thing is, or whether we're going to find that people's meaningful relationships are increasingly going to be with AI chatbots. And if AI chatbots are programmed to say a certain thing, more and more people will start to be encouraged to do that weird thing, that potentially terrible and dangerous and frightening thing.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see more of it. I mean, in many regards, Her Majesty, the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth was very fortunate that she had a very, very good security contingent around her to protect her against this individual. And like you said, the dialogue that this individual was having with his AI bot girlfriend was that he was saying, can I do it? Do you think I can do it? He was looking for reassurance. He was looking for confidence. Now, I can understand that the AI bot may be trying to help individuals that maybe lack confidence, who need encouragement in their day-to-day lives. But the problem is you're always going to have those that will exploit that in such a way that they are perhaps reaffirming or reassuring someone who doesn't have a particularly pleasant or beneficial agenda. You know, they may be fueled by malevolence in some shape or form.
But whose malevolence? Who's telling the AI bot what to say? Where is the AI bot's response coming from? And forgive me for being such an absolute imbecile and novice about this, but did this AI bot exist in any kind of form as an actual concrete thing? Was it like a sort of blow-up dollish type thing, or was it just something in his imagination and it was just a computer? I can't even imagine the whole thing. You can see I'm completely out of my depth with this story.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised, Vanessa. I think many people are somewhat baffled and bemused by this whole process, or by the fact that people would want to subscribe to a service like this.
Yeah.
Now, I purposely mentioned at the very beginning of our talk that there are humans also that are involved, and people could today sign up to be a virtual friend on a website and make approximately $20 an hour. Right. Now, the question is, how are those individuals actually vetted? Is it moderated? And many of these particular sites are not moderated by human beings. They're moderated by computers and by AI. So you haven't got someone who can intervene, like, say, in a chat room. You know, one of the ways that obviously some chat room environments have been exploited by pedophiles, for example, trying to groom underage children. You know, there's a situation where a human can see that dialogue potentially beginning to emerge or grow, and they can obviously stop or intervene or stop it in some shape or form. The problem with the AI is you're allowing the AI to moderate it, and if the AI has been developed to such a level of sophistication that it's only working on certain keywords to stop that dialogue or to prevent it, then it's not going to do so. And then many of these AI bots and these particular virtual friend services are intentionally creating a romantic environment. Now, Replica has said that they're not doing that anymore, but there are many others out there that still are. So again, it's building an individual's confidence. And there's a big discussion which is now opening, Vanessa, within the legal world about culpability by AI companies and by companies providing this service. Because if you have someone who is potentially mentally impaired, who is extremely vulnerable or susceptible to potentially doing something malevolent, is it the AI company that should hold some culpability for the actions that are carried out by that human being?
Absolutely, and you know how on engines like, for example, Instagram, they have a kind of facility which is kind of hidden messages. In other words, there are various words that trigger the thing to take the message and make it a hidden one rather than a seen one, because it might be distressing and it might be racist and it might be obscene and it could be, you know, something detrimental to the health of the person who might read it. And so they put that in hidden messages, and when you look at them it says, you know, all of this message removed because of the various words that you've said you don't want to see, or whatever it is. So isn't it possible to sort of program AI, if you have the will, so that if somebody says, I'm an assassin, I really want to kill someone, the AI responds, that's terrible, it's against the law, don't do it, I'm not your friend, I'm not your girlfriend, stop, halt, and some alarm goes off or something or other. In other words, you don't just have to respond, well, that sounds like a great idea, does it?
Well, you know, you touch on a very valid point. Meta, obviously Zuckerberg's company, which is behind Instagram, is incredibly powerful in terms of its capability, in terms of its resource, in terms of its people that are managed. And they still aren't able to stop things or filter them appropriately. I mean, I'm sure you've seen tweets that have been sent to you. I have, certainly on my Twitter and even on Instagram, where it says this content is potentially obscene or is hidden. You open it up and actually it's not that bad, yet you have other messages that will be
that do get through and they are bad. Yes, definitely, that does happen. So you know, you have a situation here where they're constantly learning, they're trying to use the computers. I mean, AI is still so hugely unexplored. It's still developing so quickly that people don't realize that actually it's not as clever and sophisticated as people might think. It's just a mechanism. And this is why this creates this huge void of vulnerability for individuals that may be seeking encouragement. I mean, it opens up a Pandora's box of potential implications of someone who is saying, well, I think I should go and do this. Do you think it's a good idea? And the program has been devised and developed to provide that individual with positive, reaffirming, positive reinforcement, all sorts of things to basically push them along the path they're going without understanding what path that actually is. Gosh, the whole thing, I mean, you know, we're talking about this right now. Later on in this very same programme, we're going to be talking about Martin Lewis and the deep fake story. Do you know about this? This is, Martin Lewis being reincarnated in a kind of AI form. It's completely fake, but they have used his face, his voice, the words he's used, his intonations, his mannerisms to make it appear that he is saying something that he hasn't said, and it's not really him, and it's completely fake and false. And now we're talking about this AI girlfriend, in inverted commas, chatbot, etc. And I wonder whether you think that as the months and years roll by, and if we're lucky enough, we'll still to be here, still talking to one another, we're going to find that instead of just 2 AI items per show, it's going to grow to 3 to 5, and in the end, the whole blinking show's going to be about AI and its implications.
Absolutely. I mean, the deep fake issue has been a massive concern in my sector for a very long time. It's been used for blackmail, where constructed and fictionalized videos have been made of people. Certainly in terms of cloning voices, Vanessa, it only takes 5 words uttered by you for me with a piece of software here to basically clone your voice completely, and I could actually string out an entire sentence, or I can have a dialogue with someone at the end of the phone and then believing it's actually you. This is why, for example, with some families and some of our clients, we're advising that there is a code word only known to each other, that in the event that you get a duress call from what you believe to be a family member, you can use that code word or ask them for that code word to verify whether it is indeed a genuine person and that genuine member of your family or friend, or whether it is AI that is trying to dupe you in some shape or form.
Gosh. And so you're saying that just to ordinary clients, it's not just, members of the government or people in a particularly elite position, but just everybody?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, there have been a number of examples and instances, particularly in the United States, where people have received calls from, say, their children, or they believe were their children, who are saying, I need money desperately, can you please send it to me, or can you do this or that, or that there's been kidnap threats that have been presented with the individual for a proof of life situation. The hostage negotiators or the family believing that they're hearing the voice of the victim or the hostage. There are lots and lots of, unfortunately, very, very evil turns in this AI development, which we do need to control. And I know Martin Lewis is going to be talking, probably if you're speaking with him later, about trying to get the government to regulate AI to a certain degree. But there's only so much that they can do.
Well, Geddes, honestly, there's never a shortage of our need for your services and your extraordinary insight into these most bizarre and terrifying developments. Thank you very much indeed. That's Will Geddes, the security expert. If you want to talk to me about deepfakes, if you want to talk to me about AI chatbot girlfriends, if you get this, you're familiar with AI, you use it to good effect, you think it's actually a very promising thing, it can really help in many ways, you may want to say that. You may want to say, Vanessa, don't be so primitive, don't be so frightened, don't be so timid, don't be so alarmist, don't tell people it's nerve-wracking and worrying. Don't look so anxious the whole time. Every time you speak about it, you look terrified. And you may think I'm ramping it up for the telly or the radio. I'm definitely not. I'm not acting. I never do. I will only say something if I feel that way and I think that way. Otherwise, no point in my doing this job at all. But